Yes, hello everyone.
Hello.
Hello everyone. I kind of like sped us through the introduction, so I hope everything works. Let's see, let's find out. There they are. There's my boys. You see them? Do you see them on the screen? Where are they? Seriously, where are they?
Is your fresh new haircut.
Oh, thank you so much.
New glasses.
Thank you so much. Oh my God, I'm seeing your new glasses as well, and they're looking pretty sick. We gotta get you we gotta get you a light. We gotta get you a light little ring light. We'll do that next.
I wonder if this would. I think this might blow out my fucking.
No, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it right now. I'm just saying, like, you know, we could definitely, like, next month, you know, once we get the Patreon payout, get you a ring light. If you're down, if you're down for that.
Yeah. I've never used a ring light before, so
it's definitely something to get used to. That is absolutely for certain. You know what I mean? It absolutely is for freaking certain.
Where's it go?
Where's it go? Crowd's looking around like, where do I put it? Well, I don't know what your room looks like, man.
It's small.
As
much, I want you
to
understand that.
Yeah, as much as you. I mean, you just lean it. You just usually put it behind your desk, you know, and then you're good to go. Yeah, that's what I have. I put mine in the desk. And depending on how big your desk is, you know, we could also get you like a tiny little one. You know what I mean? And then just have that like you can just put that on there. And it just, especially with the cam, it just helps. As you can see, like I was complaining about my camera quality, and I was like, oh yeah, it's because I didn't have any lighting on for the camera to like take in and then like absorb it all. You know what I mean? So like now I look fine. I look not fine like okay. I mean like fine as in like damn. Look at him. Look at those pixels. Look at those pixels. Guys,
I mean, I do have a light behind me that I can try and turn on. Go ahead, do the introduction. I'll try and turn it on. See what happens.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all. I only say that when. Oh, I guess I am going to do the introduction. Hi everyone. Hello, welcome to Dumpster Delta. Sorry we weren't here last week. I wasn't feeling too well. I was recovering from the sickness. I was recovering from an illness. And after everything that was working on, oh, I see what you're doing a little backlight situation there. My favorite part about Crown is so that the backlight doesn't help because there's nothing shining on your face. All it does is just add shadow to your face, making it even darker than it is. It's okay, man. It's good. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn today. By today, I mean probably next month. There's nothing to worry about there. What are you mooing about? What's up? What's on your mind? What's on your
why doesn't it just happen?
It's all part of the world, man. It's all part of there. We didn't do a check. Are you recording? You recording your cam? You doing all that shit?
Brother, I started recording when you were lambasting people who don't know how to drive.
We're gonna talk about that today because I'm fucking pissed off at some of you guys, and I am pointing at our audience when I say this. I'm mad.
Some of you are not safe. Some of you are not safe.
I don't care. I don't. You know, it's first of all, before we even get to that, I'm very excited to announce that today I've got nothing political to talk about. Last month the Chinese tariffs, the tariffs on China is on a 90-day hiatus, whatever the fuck that means. I think it was last week is when that was announced. So now the China tariffs are at 30%. And the reason why I bring that up is because, especially in the TTRPG community, you know, though that tariff in particular is very important. So it's now down to 30%, which is still like we could do better than that, but at least it's not gonna like freeze some of the big projects that you guys had been looking forward to from big TTRPG creators. So like, hey guys, we made the product. It's stuck in China because I gotta pay a $1.5 million tariff now. So
and I'm not paying that.
Who the fuck wants to pay that? Seriously, it's like at that point you gotta do one of two things. You gotta foot the bill, which last time I checked, I don't have $1.5 million just floating around ready to spend. And two, that's a hard ask for your community because you're gonna have to tell at that point. You're like, hey community, I know you spent $40. I'm gonna need you to give me another $55 each of you so we can get this shit stateside, man. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's still chaotic. It's still up in the air, but hey, guys, we're living in wild times now. It's a roll of a dice, whatever it is. So, but that's all I gotta say about that, because I don't know. I think the other day I just realized the world is on fire, and I'm just gonna sit here and play Fantasy Life on my Xbox. Have you seen Fantasy Life come out? Did you hear about this, Crown?
I think somebody in my community was like, I've been waiting like 30 years or something for it to come out. And I'm like, sense. I don't know what that is.
That makes sense. Okay. Fantasy Life is Animal Crossing. You ever played Animal Crossing before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now turn that into, now throw some RPG mechanics in. Boom. That's Fantasy Life.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's it. It's a simple game. It's a great time if you just want to not sponsored. If you just want to chill and hang out and just do whatever, it's Fantasy Life's the way to go, dude. You choose. It's kind of like Final Fantasy 14, where you got your base classes, but then you also got your profession classes. So you can be doing fishing, carpentry. You can be a lumberjack. I mean, fuck, you played RuneScape. You chopped trees until the wee hours of the night. You could do that in Fantasy Life. You can do that in Fantasy Life. Yeah, man.
Don't say that. Those little neuron activator games, they always get me.
Well, so a lot of it is for the professions, they're all kind of like mini games a little bit. So when you're doing carpentry, for example, you go into a little mini game where you have to activate one of the three things. It's like a little mini Mario Party game, but there's skill trees for all of the classes. So you'll find a skill that's just you don't go into the mini game, you just automatically craft the item if it's this level with this star, and it's
man, I always love those abilities where it's hey, you've been working so hard. Now we're going to make the early part of your skill making easy.
And then
you're yes.
And then for lumberjacking, right? You go activate the tree and you chop. And so you can just chop the tree, whatever. It spends your SP, which slowly regains back over time. But you can walk around the tree when you're in chop mode and find the weak point. So you're doing extra damage to the tree. So you're not spending as much SP on the attack. So you can go and chop more trees. And they got a little bonus thing where if you do massive damage to the tree right before it goes down. So if you use your super attack, you get bonus materials from that. So you're kind of playing this mini game, and you're
badass.
Yeah, you're looking at the hit point bar, and you're watching it go down. You're I think I can do one more weak hit without chopping the tree down, and then I'm gonna do my super critical hit. And they're and then it'll be perfect cut, and it gives you extra stuff. And it is. It's just such a lighthearted, chill, whatever. There's a story in the background. I'm sure there's more shit to do. You can go around killing enemies. Yeah,
Is it Fantasy Life 1?
Yeah, the girl from Time or something like that.
The girl who steals time.
Yeah, I recommend it. I highly recommend it. If you, I mean, it's a $60 game, but I mean, I've been, I was okay, I've been playing on the Xbox, and Masay's been playing on the Steam Deck, and it's multiplayer, so you can definitely.
I was about to ask if it was multiplayer.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go off fishing. Fishing is a profession, so obviously, I'm going to sing my praises of a thing that adds fishing into their game. Fuck yeah, man. And so highly recommend it. That I would love to do a game recommendation of the week. I've just been I feel like our first podcasts, which is fine because we talk about whatever, and I'm not gonna mute myself, but there definitely has been first podcast where the world's on fire, and I'm I kind of want to reel back to the cool shit that we can hang out and not scream the world's on fire, because there'll be plenty of times. Don't listen, chat. I'm not swearing off the topic, but there's gonna be plenty of times where I'm gonna be guys, they fucking blew up Antarctica. I don't know what.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's fucking gone.
I don't know what the strategy was there, but they fucking blew it up.
It's not even on the map anymore. They already updated the world maps. I'm so flabbergasted.
They named it the Gulf of America too. I don't know what happened, guys. It was really weird.
I don't know how.
There'll be plenty of time for that unhinged shit. But yeah, so my game recommendation of the week. I would love to do that actually. If we have a game recommendation of the week, just fucking say that.
I got a game recommendation.
Do it. What game recommendation?
I was playing RL Craft.
I know. Okay, look. I want to play RL.
I want to play it.
I do want to play. I want to play. I'm gonna be as real and genuine as possible because I feel like, I feel like I'm the bell. I feel like I'm the belle of the ball right now. No. God, take that shit back. Take that. Put that back in your mouth. Put that fucking back in your mouth. Yeah,
I fucking hate you. All right, I'm being real and genuine and honest right now.
Just be real fucking honest with you right now. That's why with my busy schedule, I try to set aside at least a few hours on Friday so we could do a podcast together. I fucking hate you, man. Yeah. Good. Cry. I get joy when you shed tears like that. Good. Yes, very good. No, I'm busy. It is
fucking like pushed back with the force of I'm busy.
I know. I feel like the belle of the ball, and Crown is always asking me out to the diner, going like, when can we get a milkshake? Can we go out and get a burger and fries? And I'm just like, I can't this week, boo. I'm sorry. And at some point, Crown's got to be sitting in his bed, looking at the ceiling, being like, does he even fucking like me? Does he even want to?
I want you to know there's a moment where I sit there at my bed like the Wolverine meme, and I have a picture of us playing Terraria, and it's my hand very gently, rubbing over the picture.
Dude, there's so many things I want to do that just doesn't add into that is just like, I want to do something where it's not for work, it's not building. I just want to do it just to fucking hang out, chill, and relax. And I can't. And it pisses me off so bad because I'm just like, God, I gotta figure something out. We've had this conversation before where if I've got a void, I go, okay, we could add some more work to that. And then I look around and go, hey guys, I think I fucked up. You know what? I think I'm overworked again. It happens every fucking time. And I go, okay, well, what if we put this here? I go, you know what? IO5E has been something I've been working on and I really would like to test. Let's go ahead and do that. If I showed you the spreadsheets I've been working on this week, I pretty much have decided, by the way, unless something catastrophic happens tomorrow, that, I think this Monday we are going to do session 1.
Nice.
Come hell or high water, we're going to do session 1. I don't know how prepared I'm going to be, but I feel like I can get it to a prepared state that we can do that. Because I feel like the classes are in a good state for IO5E.
I'm reading the Disciple of Light right now.
In the middle of the podcast?
That's right.
Dude. I mean, you got some good changes. You lost some spells, but other than that,
I lost spells.
Yeah, you lost some prepared spells. I gave you extra because of the blessings, and then instead I was like, nah. I gave you something called Favored Blessing at level 2, so now you get like your favorite spell. You also get a Favored Blessing that you can do 2 times without spending a spell slot. So I was like, all right, we can knock the prepared spells back to this normal Claire stuff. Yeah.
My spells are still here. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. No, I didn't look. You didn't tell me the spells you wanted, and then I went, yeah, I'm going to make sure we get rid of those.
I was like, please tell me he at least left like Blade of Light and stuff like that. Please.
No, what I mean is you're prepared, like the number of spells you can have prepared is 1 lower, which is the standard cleric allotment and breakdown and shit like that. No, all the spells you had are good. In fact, I added a new mechanic, which you might be squinting your eyes at right now. I had a spell called Extend Blessing, which is a bonus action. It was like, hey, cast a spell. It extends your blessing when you cast as an action to an hour. And I went, okay, that's 2 spell slots. And I went,
that one. Yeah.
And I went, you know what? I don't think it's gonna work. So now your blessings, specifically your level 1 blessings, not your cantrips, your level 1 blessings now have an ability called Overcast. And what that does is you cast it at your casting time becomes a minute. Okay, so it's no longer an action. By the way, the blessings are now so the blessings are also now bonus actions. The hexes are bonus actions. They used to be actions, they're bonus actions now. you now have the ability to overcast your blessings, and which is a 1 minute cast. When you do that, the duration goes from concentration 1 minute to concentration 1 hour, allowing you to stretch out your spell usage, so you're not constantly, because I want blessings to be a big thing. I want you going in and being like, by the light, oh. But if you're doing that every battle, you're gonna lose all your spells so much, even with favorite spells. So it became to the point where you're like, the option was like, make your favorite spell a blessing or whatever. And I was like, well, just let's see how this works. Let's see what a new mechanic called Overcast does, so that it's not something you can't. It's not something you do in battle, but it's something that you prepare for. And it's kind of like that moment before a raid where you're like, all right, everyone, get your greater blessings, of might here, and it's like it's got the hour cast, and or not the hour cast.
I mean, that's gonna be badass, because once you get the ability to cast it as a second level spell slot, like level 3, being able to bless 2 people at once during the duration of a minute, kind of fucking awesome.
It's good shit. Yeah, I mean, that's what your spells. But here's the cool thing about that, right? Is that is a specifically blessing of radiance, because they are the support class. Other disciples may not get something like Overcast. They may still be stuck, with their minute blessings. Like the Bloodletter's Bloodfire blessing is still going to be a minute. So now you are the support. You are the buff class, and you're getting abilities that allow you to do that. So I don't know. I like to think we're doing some cool shit. Everyone seems to be very excited about IO5E, and I would. And so we're gonna this guy fucking is, and so we'll see what happens Monday. But dude, going back to what we were talking about, is I've been working on spreadsheets all week about trying to find the perfect monster balance. And originally I was just gonna keep it very minimal, keep it very divide damage and health by 4, and we'll leave it alone, and then that's fine. But then I was like, no, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start tinkering with the engine, which means I'm fucked. I'm fucked, Crown. At the end of the day, I'm fucked. I'm rebuilding challenge rating from the ground up. I'm fucked.
Good. Good.
It needs to be done. It needs to be done. So yeah, I'm doing that. A lot of math, a lot of theory work, a lot of stuff, and it's what we're working on. But
the biggest thing is that we won't know until we play.
Correct. We won't know until we play. But there is a lot of math theory craft that I think it's going to be a good time. So like I've calculated out estimated hit points everyone has per level. I calculated how many direct hits with average damage do I want a creature to hit you with until you go down. So I've got all of these calculations down. So right now I've calculated about a creature can knock you out in about 2.5 turns if they always hit and they always do their average damage. If a creature of the same level could potentially knock you out, but also depending on how good their damage is, because that's also going to be very depending on the creature roll. So it is just a lot of theory crafting and seeing how it works from a vibe check. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what it works. We'll see how it combines together. But the spreadsheet I've been building these past few days is just disgusting looking. It's just numbers on numbers on numbers on numbers on numbers on numbers on numbers.
It's disgusting. I heard it.
I look at it and if there's a moment where I step back into a third person perspective and I stare into it, I go, this is gross. No one's gonna understand this, and that's fine. No one needs to understand that. I need to get to an end result. I essentially, the goal is much like what Pathfinder does. I need to get to a point where I go, hey, if this thing's got a strong damage output, then this is what you want their standard attack damage to be. This is what you want AoE damage to look like. This is what you want blah blah, blah blah blah. And these are the variants that you can do. If you want it to be a D8 or a D6 or a D10 or it's just so much. There's already so much under the hood that once we finally present it, I think it'll be good, and then the rest of it will just be testing it and fine tuning it, Where like how does this damage output feel? How did the hit points of the enemy feel? How did combat feel? You know, do we need to make combat faster? Do we need enemies to be more threatening? And all that is just the adjustment of like a variable, just to like change all that around. And what that's gonna do, it should you know, if I do the sheet correctly, it'll change all the dice rolls that you do on the fly, so that we don't have to like, or excuse me, so I don't have to fucking go in and then change everything everything every time we make a slight adjustment. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited though. I'm excited for it. I think
my favorite change is Radiant Aegis, being that I can overcast it for 24 hours with my badass armor.
Yeah. So if you want to, again, it's like that minute cast. It just fucking works, you know, until you complete a long rest. Or 24 hours elapses, you're just like,
I like that.
I'm walking around with armor. Yeah, man. Spell slots are that was the big thing about D&D and just TTRPGs in general. Is just spell slots always feel a little fickle. You know what I mean? It always feels like you're running out of spell slots. I think Pathfinder also experiences that as well. You know, any TTRPG.
Well, Pathfinder has an ability usually called a focus point, where you get a spell allotted to you by your class.
Okay.
So, for example, the druid in our party has something called it's like it's a better version of, actually I have his character sheet up. It's called Cornucopia. And it's a berry that he can summon that does like 1d8 plus such and such healing.
To heal, yeah.
And he can cast that as a 2-action spell.
Okay.
And it comes back after 10 minutes. So if he does while he's doing his exploration activity, he can do like refocus, and he'll get his focus point back.
Oh, that's cool.
Which means that he can cast a spell again.
Oh, that's neat. I like that.
But it's also Vancian style. So a lot of casters, prepared spellcasters, are Vancian style magic.
When you say Vancian,
so you mean
like the spell levels?
Yes, more so the idea that like, okay, I'm going into this combat, I'm going to prepare 3 casts of Fireball, 2 casts of Force Wall, and 1 cast of like
old school.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that though. I like Vancian style magic. I think it's badass.
I mean, I understand why it's used. I personally have never seen it as a very accessible system to do it that way. Because it does kind of evolve a level of strategy that a lot of players may not be well aligned with. So like, but I get it. And I think it's a great optional rule personally in any TTRPG you play. And Pathfinder 2, I think it fits. It definitely fits the model. Here's a question I have for you about Pathfinder 2.
Yes, sir.
Is specifically the multi-classing or lack thereof. I'm assuming. I heard somewhere that multi-classing in Crowd's giving me the dirtiest look right now. I said the word. I said the word he hates the most.
No. I mean, that must have just been a facial reaction.
What'd you say?
I had to sit there and be like, do we have multi-classing? And then I realized we have probably the best version of multi-classing.
So let me follow up with that, because I think I heard this, and I think this is what I want to do multi-classing for in IO5E. If it is and it isn't, I don't fucking care. The idea is that multi-classing, quote unquote, is it done instead of like taking a level in a class. You take a feat that kind of like gives you some features so that it counts as multi-classing. Is that correct?
So, let's say I am a level 1 fighter.
Okay.
And I go, I want to be like a badass, like mage blade type dude.
Okay.
I go and I take at my next ability to take a feat where I can take like a dedication. Mm-hmm. I'll take like the mage's dedication. And then while I'm leveling, I can choose, do I want to take a fighter feat or do I want to take a mage's feat? At like certain level.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, because you got class feats.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this would be this. I mean, I guess it kind of would be like that, but not really, in the sense that, since D&D 5e doesn't really do class feats anymore, so it would be kind of like a feat For me, the way I want to do it for IO5E is that there would be feats that would kind of give you like class features, but in the same level as a feat would. So that's how I want to do multi-class. We're like, yeah, I want to do some, like, I want to go into Bloodletter. And it's like, okay, you can take the Bloodletter training feat, which gives you, access to the Bramble weapon. And it allows you to pick, it allows you to get favored spell Bramble or favored spell Bloodletter, where you choose a spell and then you get that 3 times. And then there it is. Boom. You will get the effect of the of that. It's of a feat equivalent, and you kind of get that flavor that you're looking for without trying to do this stupid, well, if I take 3 levels of this and 1 level of this and 5 levels of this and Reddit set, I'm like, that could be fun. And then it also doesn't feel like you're shooting yourself in the foot either when you're like essentially crippling yourself in your main class. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it just, you're not having to worry about that. So that's how I want to do it. So it kind of is a page from Pathfinder, but not in the sense that, Pathfinder, you get access to like class feats. We wouldn't do class feats. We would just do you would just get class features that would be attached to a feat. And I think that'd be I think that's a more elegant way to put it. And the only thing that the only cost you are paying for that is an ASI exchange / your feat is just going to be that, you're taking a feat to get a little bit of training in another class. I think that's a good way to go about it. I like personally. That. Yeah. So we're just taking a little bit of everything and waiting for someone to tell me, why don't you just play Pathfinder or a different edition or this version or blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting for right there. But yeah, it's, so yeah, that's what I was thinking there. But enough of that nerdy shit, Crowned. I'm done talking about nerdy shit. Okay. We got to talk about something. Okay. We got to talk about something real serious. There's a fucking epidemic going on, and it's people not using their goddamn turd signals, and it's pissing me off. We've talked about this in length before, where people just don't use their turd signals, and I have given my personal opinion about people who don't use their turd signals. I think they're selfish pieces of shit. I will say it. They are selfish pieces of shit. Now, before someone out there goes, that's unfair. Why would you don't know? You don't know. And I'm like, okay. To use a turn signal, this is my logic. To use your turn signal requires minimal effort. I would dare say a non-effort. No effort whatsoever to use your turn signal. Look, this is me driving. If we turn this into a shorter video or something, this is me driving, and then this is me using my turd signal. Or that's it. That's it. It's just a flick of the finger. That's all you gotta do. So if you don't use your turd signal, you're the selfish piece of shit. I'm calling you out for that. So, yes,
devil's advocate.
Before you do that, I gotta tell the whole story, and then we'll devil's advocate. We'll absolutely devil's advocate. Because I will leave it also up to our community of litter bugs to tell me. I am inviting anyone and everyone. Go to our YouTube, this YouTube video when it's public and live. Go in the comments section. This is a call to action. And if you can give me a genuine good reason as to why you do not use your turn signal, okay? I will happily go here next week and say, you know what?
I won't send a pipe bomb.
I was right. No. I'm looking around. I'm looking at the YouTube moderation. In Minecraft. I will come here. I'll eat my hat. I'll eat my own words and be like, you know what? You were right. I was wrong.
Another pepper.
I don't think that's gonna fucking happen. Okay. And by the way, you can't go in the comments section and be like, but what if someone's got a gun to my head and they say, if you use your turn signal, I'm shooting you in the head. It can't be some weird ass fictitious shit where you gotta do all that. No. God damn it. Okay, so I went on to my Twitter and I went onto my Blue Sky and I asked the question. I was gonna do a little funny thing where I was like, hey, do you always use your turn signals? And if you don't, why not? And then I was gonna wait for someone to be like, oh yeah, I don't use my turn signal or whatever. And then after an hour, I was gonna be like, yeah, this was a trap. You
failed.
Yeah, you failed. You fucking piece
of
shit.
That's him, officer.
Yeah, that's right. Arrest this man. Ticket this man. There he is. There they are. And I got a lot of comments that were like, of course I use my turn signal. Like this is
am I, stupid?
Yeah, this is the stupidest post I've ever seen. Like, of course I use my turn signal. What is this? What is this post? Yeah, I use my turn signal. People who don't use their turn signals are pieces of shit. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right. So, a little hope in humanity. But then I started getting comments that made me lose my fucking mind. And I'm gonna see if I can find the one comment.
I will find you. I've downloaded your personal data, and I will find you.
Well, it was one of those comments where I went, okay, this is someone who is clearly like the misnomer. This is the minority. This is the one person that would say something like this. Let me see if I meant to. Yeah, okay. Someone said this, and also don't go after. Let me preface this: don't go after them. I'm not going to tell you what platform it was on. I'm not going to tell you who the user was, and obviously don't harass anybody if you figure this shit out. But essentially, someone said that at every reasonable opportunity, of course I use my turn signal. Of course I use my turn signal. But I'm not one of those schmucks who leaves it on in a turn lane. We all know you're turning left. That's why you're in the turn lane. And I went, okay, that's a weird takeaway to be like, of course I don't use my turn signal in a turn only lane. Like, why the fuck why would I fucking do that? And to such, not only I don't do it to this, but to such a degree where you are a dum-dum if you use your turn signal. Or egotistical or so. I don't know. Here in the States, no matter okay, so I know in the UK, someone said the UK that it is optional and you technically don't have to do it. But here in the States, if you're intending to turn, you gotta use your turn signal. It doesn't matter if you're in a turn only lane, doesn't matter, blah blah blah. But again, there were a few people that I pushed back at that were like, yeah, I just don't use it in the turn only lane.
Do it.
Yeah, I use my turn signal. No one ever said I don't use my turn signal. Okay, I think one person said I don't use my turn signal because it's broken. And sorry, no mercy. I don't care. It doesn't matter. You need to
get that shit fixed.
Yeah, fix
I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Yeah, that's your responsibility. If my brake light's out, I get fined. I get a ticket. If my turn signal's not working, that is against the law. I don't care that you're, I sympathize with the fact that your turn signal, you might be struggling with some money, and it's gonna be an ordeal to repair your turn signal. But that is the rule of the road. That's it. Just because you got a thing in your car that is not working, that is not an excuse to drive around with it not working. In fact, that is an extremely dangerous thing. Okay. But yeah, I had someone who said, I use my turn signals, but I don't like doing it when I'm in a line of cars and they're all turning left, and I don't like putting my signal on then. And I asked, I was like, why? And the answer I got from one individual was like, oh, I feel silly if I do. I'm like, why do you feel silly? Genuinely.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Why do you feel silly? Why feel silly? Why do you feel silly? As if someone is behind you, you put your turn signal on, they're going to roll their window down and scream at you. You're like, you look silly. You look silly. Damn it. For me, that makes no sense, right? That makes no sense to me. So I was just like, well, here's my argument. And, yeah, you can argue left and right all day, every day. If you don't use, why you don't use the turd signal, because no matter what, your reason is wrong and flawed. And I would love to I would love to hear a reason. So I said, I kind of pushed back a little bit with this. I'm like, why do you feel silly? It is the law. It is, if you are here in the States, it is the law. I know it's an optional thing in the UK, but like, just, you are driving a death machine, and it is important for you to let people know where you are turning. If you are turning, if you're flicking your light on, you got your with the intent to turn, it's important to let everyone know, hey guys, I'm turning down this lane, or I'm turning down this way, or I'm turning. That's important to know. It's important that people know exactly where you are to go. Because also at the same time, like I said before, it is an extremely non-thing to do. It takes zero energy from you. And last time I checked, your turn signal doesn't run on turn signal fluid, that every time you click, you're draining the turn signal fluid. You have to fucking replace that shit. Hey, I'm sorry. Okay? Like, if you don't use your turn signal, I don't care that you are in another lane that says turn left, because I shouldn't be metagaming what your intent is, no matter how minor. I shouldn't be sitting behind you going, well, we're in a turn left lane, but their turn signal's on and on, so I guess their intent is to turn. I shouldn't be theory crafting where you are going to go. I should just know right off the bat by going turn signal, and then that's that. Okay. What happens if you're a turn signal and in the turn only lane, you go, shit, I'm not supposed to be in this lane. I need to get in the other lane. Well, what do you fucking do at that point, huh? Dipshit. Oh, now I use my turn. Now you've got this weird list of rules where you're like, if I turn left, I use my left turn signal. If I turn right, I use my right signal. However, I don't use my turn signal if I'm in a turn only lane where there's a lane of cars. No. It should be very binary. If I'm turning left, I'm using my turn signal. If I'm turning right, I'm using my turn signal. That's my takeaway. That's my big takeaway. So, with that being said, Crown, what is your devil's advocate? Because I've been very curious what reason you have for this.
So I'll preface this.
Yes.
I don't drive. I don't have.
Right.
But when I did drive,
yeah,
and I did see people not use their turn signals, I was also very filled with rage.
Heated.
But I realized that I think as devil's advocate, I believe the reason people don't use turn signals and the reason that people don't, they do California stops at like stop signs and stuff, is because it is a way for somebody who is, in their current life to take control. It is a kind of pushback against societal norms and expectations.
Okay.
You are expected every day to abide by the law, to follow the rules, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But if I don't use my turn signal, some small, thing that's inconsiderate to other people, but is a expectation and a law, that's me taking a little bit of my life back.
Taking a little bit of control back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my devil's advocate.
That's your devil's advocate. My devil's advocate is you selfish piece of shit. That's my devil's advocate. You want to take?
It is very selfish.
You want to take control of your life. There are plenty of other ways to do it. Don't do it while you're in a fucking death machine. Speaking as someone who has been hit by a car before, it's not fun. It's not fun to be hit by a motor vehicle, a giant fucking tank driving down the road and sending
I just think you got hit by the wrong car. I think you'd have a very different.
Yeah, right. Look, at the end of the day, if your reason, because I was also talking to Masay about this was one of those things where I was like up, just my brain was just spinning.
being like, why do people not use their turn signal?
Why? Yeah. Well, because I was getting several responses for people who are like, I don't do it in a turn only lane. And I was like, and I was kind of pushing back on this person. And at the end, they were just like, one of the things they said was, feels like announcing my way when no one needs to know. And I'm like, what does that mean? And Masay says that, sorry to our Gen Zs at the obviously, I'm not saying everyone's like this, but a lot of younger generations than millennial, Gen Zs, and what's after Gen Z now? Or yeah, Generation Alpha? Is that what's?
I think it's Alpha.
I think it's Alpha. Yeah. Don't want to be perceived. They just want to go on with their life. They don't like when where attention is being brought onto them to such a fucking degree that if there is any way that they can minimize it while still doing technically what they want to do, they would just feel better for doing that. And I, like, obviously as a millennial, I don't get that. But at the same time, like, that is still incredibly selfish because, again, you are driving a metal death trap that can harm or kill people. I have been harmed by cars. I sadly have known people who have been killed in my life by cars, people that I know truly that I will never see again. Fathers, husbands, who have died because of reckless driving. For me personally, if you are not using a turn signal for any reason, technicality or otherwise, you are being selfish. And I think that you should kind of reconnect and understand that it's not your road, it's everyone's road. This is what, being a little Reddit joker right now. This is what being in a society tells you. This is part about being in a society. There is just some shit you're gonna have to do, and using your turn signal to signify where you're going on the road or where you're turning is that just period. So again, I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand the reason why people are very insistent on not using their turn signal in a turn only lane. When I got my glasses today, I was in a turn only lane and I noticed ahead of me, the person wasn't using their turn signal. And I went, And so it was a 4-way stop. And I went, okay. I'm also in Florida, so this is not a big surprise. I looked behind me. The person behind me wasn't using a turn signal. And then I went, I'm going to count how many people in this intersection right now in a turn-only lane is not using their turn signal. I counted 7 cars who just were not just because they felt like they didn't need to.
You suddenly like honed in on the world, and you're like, how many fucking people are not using their turn signals?
So many people. So many people. But I would like to know. I genuinely would like to know, like, what is your good reason and besides laziness? That's it. Besides laziness, that's that is I would like to know, because again, like I said, I my devil's advocate is always when it's a selfish act that you have something to either gain from it, or if you do something you're losing something. You know what I mean? I understand. Like I don't forgive it. Obviously, I understand selfish acts when you're gaining something, or because if you did do what you're supposed to do, you're getting something taken away from you. You know what I mean? Like I understand that. Turn signals, you've got nothing to gain, nothing to lose. The only one that is losing is everyone else, not you though. Because
it's me losing my time and my patience.
And that's like. So for me personally, I don't know. I see someone in our community saying, well, it's a rural road that has no foot traffic. I'm only driving 99.9. But again, like, why not just do it off of like habit training? Like I use my turn signal. I don't even know I'm using my turn signal. It's just instinct. Why take? Again, like, it's a movement of a finger. Why should there be any time to do that? You know, why should there be any time to do that? So I don't know. That's just me. That's just my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. So guys, if you have a good reason, please put it in a comment. Put it in a comment. And you could be as
join
rude.
The Discord. Tell us in the Discord.
Give us, join our Patreon and tell me in the Discord what a piece of shit I am. Yeah, absolutely do that. Yeah, so that is my takeaway. That is my takeaway.
I'm sorry, that was so fucking dumb. I'm sorry.
No, it was good. It was good. I loved it. Tell us in the Discord. Join our Discord today. I love it. That's a great segue. I'm proud of you, man. Selling out the way you should be. Hell yeah. No. Hell yeah.
I looked out of my hands. What have I become?
Yeah, that's right. Hey guys, we got a Patreon, a Dumpster Devils Patreon, where we post audio of our podcast. We also have some tiers where we do Inside the Dumpster, which is our after show where we kind of just chill and hang out. We don't do that live. And we also have a tier where you can watch the video version of Inside the Dumpster. So you can see our beautiful faces while we're talking about it, kind of bringing a new experience there. So everyone who has actually joined, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, really do appreciate that. And yeah, you know, your support has been amazing, been wonderful. And I love getting paid to hang out with my good bud, Mr. Crown DM. Absolutely love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to post our goal. I'm going to start that right now over on our YouTube side. Litterbugs, I've got what is probably the most unhinged comment I have ever received. It was so unhinged, right? It was so unhinged that YouTube flagged it as potentially offensive. So, like, for those that don't run YouTube channels, you've got your comments, and then you've also got flag terms that are like just the heinous shit you don't want to see in your comment section, right? So you've got flag terms. So you've got, you know, held comments. You've got a held comment section that were like, oh, one of these terms were said, it's been posted in there. This comment, I'm not talking about, okay? I am not talking about that. I'm talking about once you get to that held section and then scroll all the way down, there is another section of that held section that was like these are some offensive comments that we aren't even showing you right now. Are you certain you want to see these comments? And if you click that, my God, the amount of the unhinged things people say. But there was one that took the cake. And I think Crown knows what I'm talking about, because I think I told you about this. You may have forgotten, and if you did, it's going to be a fun time if we do our super checkle. It was a giant paragraph. It was as unhinged as hell. And I am willing to share it with you all if we meet our super chat goal on the YouTube side. To beat that goal, we need 10 super chats of $5 or greater. And if we get that goal on the YouTube side, we will. I will read that unhinged comment for you all. And yes, for those that want to know why or like how unhinged we're talking about, yes, I will be censoring a bunch of words. So it's gonna be.
I do not remember this.
It's gonna be a little spicy. It's gonna be a little spicy. So, you guys would like to do a big old reading of that, please, by all means, go ahead and give us your super chats. And thank you to everyone who has super chatted in the past and joined our memberships. It's been really cool. I've started up on the YouTube side, and we'll see if we get there. And if we don't, that's okay, because we've got plenty of wonderful stories. So yeah, as you can, I definitely have a lot of hills to die on, Crown, as you know, with turd signals definitely being one of them. Do you have something that you believe would be a hill to die on for you? Like something that you acknowledge personally, like, okay, like obviously for me with the turd signals, like, I get it. It is something that people do get frustrated about, but I do feel like I take it to another level, and I will acknowledge that. I do acknowledge my flaws, you know? Is there something in your life, Ground, or something, a value of yours that is that one of your hills to die on, that you would probably consider to an unrational degree? And if you need time to think about it, you absolutely can. You don't have to answer it right now. I know I kind of sprung the question on you right now.
Things that I'm unrationally biased towards.
Yeah. I think multi-classing for you.
I mean, yeah, we want to get down to like the lower. I was trying to think of something like serious, but like, yeah, obviously, like I hate gnomes. I think most depictions of small but smart fucking suck. Yeah. I think it's a literary crutch, and you're bad at writing.
Yeah, you know what? That is absolutely. But those are two things we've known. But I would consider that absolutely. Yeah, you definitely are anti. You are a no gnome kind of guy. I specifically didn't add gnomes to IO5E because I didn't want Crown killing them in the righteous fire that is Div.
You're an affront to the Lord of Light, and you'll suffer for it.
I'm just a little guy. although in this time, you know, we've talked about it, in this time period in Aya's history, the gnomes are pretty fucked up. Dude, so that's
the gnomes in your setting. Thank God that I have a reason to hate them. They're genociders.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad. You know, so. Yeah. So, well, think about it. Think about it. This might even be a topic to bring up next week, but that should be something I'd love for you to, if you're willing to share. Obviously, it might be something you're like, ooh, yeah, dude. You know, I realized more recently, I don't like bacon.
I think that's your taste buds changing.
I don't. It's too much. I made last night. I was craving a BLT. Love BLTs. Right when I was younger. Oh my god, it's so simple yet so perfect. So I was like, I'm gonna make some BLTs. I'm kind of in the mood. The problem is when I make bacon, I don't make them crunchy enough, and I want crunchy bacon. I don't want to be chewing like soft bacon. Like, ugh, it's just something about that.
That's all half and half. I like the edges crispy. I like the sort of center a little chewy.
Dude, not me apparently. Yeah. So I try to fry these things up, and I made a sandwich. And I ate the first sandwich and went, okay, that's all right, but I'm feeling a little, you know, from the bacon. So I looked at my second sandwich and I took up a bit. So I started pulling the bacon off, and I'm like, the sandwich was getting better for me. So this afternoon, I said, fuck it, I'm gonna make it a BLT. I'm gonna make an LT sandwich, lettuce and tomato. We got something called Kewpie. For those that don't know what Kewpie is, it's a Japanese mayo that I highly recommend that you try at least once in your lifetime. If you are a mayonnaise connoisseur, do you like mayonnaise, Crown?
I think it's always kind of tasted weird. Mm-hmm. But I have been like, I think when we went to Subway, I usually get all my stuff plain. But when the lady was like, "Do you want me to take anything off?" I was like, fuck it, leave it on. And she left like everything on. She left onions, tomatoes, lettuce, all that stuff. Yeah. And I ate it, and I was like, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, Masay's not a big mayo person either, but I also think, you know, with some places they just overdo it with the mayonnaise, which is why. So, but no, Kewpie is a Japanese mayo that primarily uses, because as you may or may not know, you know, mayonnaise is made from eggs. It's made from like eggs and vinegar and all that stuff. Kewpie is primarily made of like egg yolk. So it's a very rich umami mayo.
Interesting.
And it tastes so good. And, you know, so we have some Kewpie. So I made a lettuce and tomato sandwich, basic bitch sandwich. I toasted, I put the Kewpie on there. The secret is the tomato. The tomato of a BLT is the star of the show. Everyone thinks it's the bacon. It is absolutely the tomato that is the star of the show.
If your tomato is like poorly seasoned, you fucked up.
Yep, you gotta season that. You gotta sprinkle a little bit of salt on that tomato. Activates the sandwich. So I had a lettuce tomato sandwich with a little bit of salt on the tomato, put some pepper, a little Kewpie on both sides. Ugh, wonderful sandwich. Just decadent. Miles better because the bacon was gone. I don't know what. Maybe it is my age, but like bacon, I'm good, man. I kind of don't want it. I really don't want it. I
think it is. Well, you got to remember, man, your taste buds change like every 7 years. So
yeah, that's true. I love
stuff that you'll be like, I used to slime this shit back in high school, and then you get to like you age, and you're like, that's dog shit. I fucking hate that.
That's bacon. Bacon to me is dog shit, man. And that's like I'm to the point where if someone came to me, some otherworldly force, and said, "You will not consume another piece of bacon as long as you live." And if you do, let's do a positive spin. Let's not do a negative spin. If you do not consume a piece of bacon over the next 10, 20 years, I'll give you $100,000. I'm like, done. I won't even
the swine of money.
Yeah, I won't even blink. I'll be like, okay, darn,
damn it, you got me.
You got me. God, I love it so much. Yeah, it's like I don't like that. I'm not a big sausage fan. Although
I'll have to fight you on that one. Sausage is great.
That's okay, man. You fight me on that. I kind of prefer turkey sausage over regular sausage.
All right, Grandpa.
Fuck you. I'm just saying, yeah. But also keep in mind that oh my God, I made something with sausage the other day that was really good. Damn, I forget where it was. It might have been. Was it the goulash? Maybe it was the goulash. So yeah, I like cooking with sausage. I'm not a sausage patty guy. I'm not if it's just like here's some sausage. I'm not like I'll make some killer meatballs with like sausage and beef. Oh my God, I haven't had. Oh God, if we weren't doing it, I would. If we weren't doing this podcast right now, I would go to the store now. And be like,
I'm hungry now.
And I'll be like, give me the beef, give me the Italian sausage. I would pan fry up some homemade meatballs with the breadcrumbs, a little bit of egg in there. Oh my God. Oh,
that's so funny.
I love making meatball. Well, so people say that to make the ideal meatball is you need equal parts beef, pork, and veal. Have you ever had veal before?
Yes, I think twice in my life.
I don't get it. I don't get what the hype is. Veal just tastes like flavorless beef.
I can't remember if it was good or not. I had it when I was like a kid.
Oh, there it is. I think honestly that should tell you all that you need to know. I don't remember. I don't fucking know, dude. I don't even.
It was 8 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm 30, man. What do you want from me?
yeah, man. Like Dude, maybe some of our litter bugs can also comment or talk about this. Who likes veal? Like, what's the best way to prep veal? Because when I was like, maybe I'll add it to the meatballs, and I was like, I think the meatballs are way more flavorful if you leave the veal out. Just go beef and pork, beef and sausage. That's what I personally think. A little garlic and onion, little breadcrumbs, and
I will say, all the recipes I've seen of people like making meatballs, because I'm a big food enjoyer because I'm fat.
He's so brave for saying that. He enjoys food.
A little controversial take. Actually, that's the hill I'll die on. Is that food's fucking awesome.
I love food, guys. That's funny. Dude, I'm down 40 pounds right now.
Damn!
Yeah, I'm
badass.
I mean, it's a slow process, but I'm working on it. But yeah, continue.
The same weight since I got out of the Navy.
It's just you get to a point where you're just like, I gotta do something about. It's when you get older, specifically. You're still in the age where like fucking up is fine. It's just gonna become more difficult the older you get, and I'm approaching that age where it's like, hey, I probably have like 2 more years of just shitty eating, and whatever my weight is at that point, the only thing.
Oh, you're locked in?
Yeah, the only thing that'll change my weight at that point is like a severely invasive form of cancer. You know, is the only God. Dude. I say it how it is. Like, you know, the only thing that's going to reduce my weight at that point in time is either going to be some sort of surgery, which I refuse to do, or like because chemotherapy, because I was unfortunately diagnosed with a form of cancer. That otherwise it's going to be very challenging and very difficult to lose the weight at that point. And you really begin to start suffering. Not a doctor. But I mean, that's when you're really like, your weight is absolutely just going to impact your health in ways that you won't be able to reverse. You know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, let's say you're good. You're doing all right, you know, but you also got to want to lose the weight. That I feel like is also part of it. Like I'm not like, first of all, I hate people who lose weight and then become like the guru of weight loss. I just think that's egotistical.
Dude, you're never going to believe this. I have the weight plan for you, brother. And you're like, bitch.
I will never tell someone, just lose the weight. I did it. Like, fuck off, man. Their weight, first of all, and my fellow gamers out there right now, know this. Weight is, it's more mental than anything. It is way more mental than anything. I genuinely feel like you can't be forced to lose the weight. You got to want to lose it. You have to want to do that. You know, there has to be a want. And, you know, sometimes there just isn't that desire or want. You know, maybe some shit's going on in your life right now that you can't spend the energy that you want on you right now. And that's understandable. Like, obviously, you know, you want people to get to a point where they want to take better care of themselves. But like, there's not gonna be a single person that's gonna come up to you and be like, hey, Fatso, just lose the weight, and like stare them down and be like, oh, I'm so glad someone told me I was unhealthy and fat. Because it wasn't like I had been thinking about it always, every fucking minute of my goddamn life, going, why can't I put the effort in? But really, thank you, random stranger, for just telling me how unhealthy I am right now. Like, fuck off.
Just need to let you know, man. Just need to let you know.
I need to let you know you're a fat piece of shit. Oh my God. I didn't know.
Oh, thanks, man.
I didn't know when I got up, and I every time I got up, I went, you know, like I didn't know, man. I didn't fucking know, dude. So, but yeah, and also at the same time, if someone doesn't ask, no one's inviting you to tell. So yeah,
correct.
Absolutely. That's what it is. Personally. Anyways, but that is to say, like, yeah, you do have to like want to lose the weight, which is easier said than done. There has to be a point where you're like, I just have to buckle down and do it. You know, I want to buckle down. I want to do it. I want to get this shit. You know, for me right now, I'm just watching what I'm eating, but also like I'm trying not to eat out as much. That's what that's where that weight gain was coming from. Jesus fucking God, is just
it's how it gets
out all the fucking time, dude. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to let you know that we did get our 10 super chats. Thank you so much to the YouTube side. Really do appreciate that. So later on in this podcast, we will be telling you the unhinged comment. And spoiler alert, it's a doozy. It's a fun one. It's unhinged, but we're gonna definitely tell you that at the end, at the tail end. Absolutely. Oh my God. Yeah, but I've just found out I just don't like bacon anymore. Is the key point I'm trying to say. I love tomatoes.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, and I think that's like a totally. I think that's like a normal thing to happen is to go either you find something that you used to love eating.
Yeah.
And then you eat it when you're older and you go, this is dog. What the fuck is this?
And yet I still really like bacon on like burgers, but someone else has to bake it. It has to be crispy. I don't know. But at the end, I think I'm doing it for the texture more than I'm doing it for the flavor. So
okay, so here's the thing with the BLT.
Yeah,
the BLT, the bacon is the only like meat that's present.
Yeah,
it is a sharp contrast to the crunch of the lettuce and the sort of squish of the tomato.
Yeah,
so you immediately taste it. You don't get a choice.
Yeah,
with a burger.
You're right.
With a burger, it's blended in with all of the meat that you're eating.
Damn. When you're right, you're right.
Thanks, man.
That is absolutely fucking correct, dude.
So you're not really forced to confront bacon when you're eating a burger. Yeah. Unless the burger's like dog shit, and then you know. And then you're like, thank God there's bacon in this. And it's the only thing saving my life right now.
Have you ever had a burger with like onion jam on it?
Once.
What'd you think? I think
it was weird.
I kind of fuck with it. It's like a sweet contrast to the burger.
So I'm a little bit of like I'm kind of like stepping my toes like over the line sometimes, because sometimes I like sweet and savory together.
Yeah.
Like I'm a big fan of like
chicken and waffles.
Actually, yes.
Chicken and waffles. That's my favorite sweet and savory.
Would you consider peanut butter sweet or savory?
Ooh. Depends on the context. Because
peanut butter and pretzels.
Oh yeah. I would consider that sweet and savory.
Okay.
Because
I like that.
Because peanut butter is so versatile that I feel like it kind of much like a player in World of Warcraft playing the paladin. It fills many roles. You know what I mean? So if you're doing like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I feel like the peanut butter kind of plays that savory role because of the peanuts, right? And obviously the jelly is the sweet. Now, keep in mind, the peanut butter isn't a super savory thing, but it fills that savory spot. It's not the best savor, but it fills it. So if you're doing like peanut butter and pretzels, or even like a peanut butter and like bacon sandwich, right? The peanut butter starts filling that sweet role. Again, it's not the big sweet, but it someone else is playing the savory role really well in that one. You know what I mean?
There's that like Elvis sandwich, which is like
peanut butter and banana.
It's peanut butter, banana, bacon, and jelly.
Oh my God.
Brother. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it. The actual fucking burger, he would get like an actual like loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Like a fresh loaf of bread, cut that bitch in half, put all the fixings in there, and then eat that like several times a day.
I knew about that. I didn't realize the sandwich was so involved.
No wonder he fucking died on the toilet, dude. His stomach was basically just a pipeline for loaves of bread.
Dude, I'll fuck with a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's delicious.
Oh, dude, like you got to get yourself a nice granola, like a sweet granola. It doesn't have to be sweet granola, but get yourself a good crunchy granola. Put that on the sandwich, the peanut butter and banana sandwich. Sprinkle some of that. But we're not done. Get yourself some honey. Drizzle that over that sandwich. Boy. Fuck. That is I fuck with that. Fuck with that. The peanut butter, jelly, bacon, and banana. That seems like a lot. That seems. Oh my God. That seems like. I don't know what. Correct. I don't know what's standing out in that one. You know what I mean?
The dude who made it and ate it was like, I'm going to go into shock. I don't know what I'm tasting right now. There's so many things fighting for control in my mouth. Like,
and then Elvis is over there. We're like, give me one.
Oh, there.
Wait a minute.
Take that. Give me a piece.
No, give me that over there, please. Good sandwich. Give me a good sandwich. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah. As you can tell, we fucking love food. It is just.
I pat my belly. Never trust a skinny chef.
I pat my belly as well. Like, absolutely. Dude, I've recently, I think we talked about this a little bit. I've been trying to cook more at home. There was a point, I think last week, where I was just sitting there and I was about to DoorDash again. And I was tired and exhausted and I was depressed. I was like, I was in peak depression hours. And I was just looking at, I was like, man, something needs to change, is what I said. I need to change something right now. And it was the evening, and I said, I'm exhausted, but I think I should just cook something. I just need to cook something. And my brain was like, you do not want to cook. And I'm like, I do not want to cook. And I went, error. And I was like, I really don't want to cook, but fuck it. I'm just going to force myself to go to the store before it closes, and I'm going to cook. I need to cook something. And I forget what it was something with chicken and cream and spinach and mushroom. I forget what I made. And I was just like, whatever. That sounds great. Garlic and onions and all. It sounds wonderful. Just toss all that in. And so I went to the store and I'm shopping. I hate to shop because I don't like, I got to leave the house. Now I got to walk in around the store and I got to grab shit and I'm around people and I hate it. I could just Instacart everything and just deliver it on, if I need. So I said, nope. You got to go out. You got to go to the store. You got to grab shit, and then you got to drive yourself home. And I'm like, because there's a point where you're just like, why do I have to do it when I can just get it to come here, and then I don't have to go out? And I'm like, no, just do it. You need a change, goddammit. Just do a change. So I go, I shop, I get all the ingredients. Damn. And I go, fine. I'm sitting there. I'm grumbling, but I'm grumbling a little less now. I get home. I go, now I gotta cook. So I'm cooking. Masay's helping me with vegetable prep, which I hate. I hate vegetable prep. So she'll help me prep, cut the onions and all that while I'm cooking, while I'm making the thing. So that helps out a lot. So I made the food. We sit down. Masay loves it when I cook, by the way. Absolutely loves it, which also makes me feel bad when I don't cook because she just loves it when I cook. So
allow me to preface, chat. Hold on. I fucking pinch her lips. Allow me to preface. This motherfucker makes his own homemade pizza.
Yeah.
And he brags about it.
Yeah, man.
So of course Masay is over there fucking kicking rocks every time you're like, let's get Wendy's. And she's like, God damn it.
So I made the food. I sat down. We ate the food, and it was so good because whatever you get from a DoorDash or a restaurant nowadays fucking sucks because everyone's cutting corners and charging you double to triple its actual value.
Correct.
And so we're eating, and I'm just like, fuck. I feel
this shit.
Not only do I like the food, I don't feel like shit right now. I don't feel sad as I did. I don't feel as depressed as I did. And that's because I set out something to do and I did it. And that accomplishment gave me the charge to be like, I'm feeling good. So I've just been, when I can, I've been trying just to cook, and we get leftovers. We'll eat that for lunch the next day, typically. And then I'm always just making something, and it feels good, and I'm feeling, it makes me feel real good to go out of the house and not stay in the house. Unwanted advice aside, and you can take it or leave it. And I'm talking to everyone when I say this. If you're at a point, because we live in our conveniences, our lives are getting more convenient all the time. We're going to get to a point with AI where we don't even have to go to see a new movie anymore. We can just tell a computer what we want to see, and it'll just fucking make it for us. So there's gonna get to a point where life is just gonna continue to get convenient. More and more convenient. You're gonna just want to be like, I don't have to do anything. I could just stay here and do nothing. And that, I feel, is going to be one of the key big things that's gonna make you depressed. Is if you're just being idle. Just do something. Set a goal, as small as it is. Set a goal, do a chore. Do a chore on your house. Your house isn't pristine and clean. You're a fucking gamer. You play D&D or Pathfinder. I know your room's a mess, man. I get it. I know. None of you have clean houses. I know this for a fact. And if you want to go in the comment section, if you want to go in the comment section right now and tell me how wrong I am, that's fine. But I know for a fact that for those that are looking at the video right now and looking at how clean my room is, the reason why it looks so good is because you don't see what's on this side of the screen. You don't see the other half of the room, which is a fucking disaster. I went, just immediately pushing it there. Yeah. I have to respond to someone's, I am not endorsing AI. AI is dog shit. I am pissed off. I'm telling you, AI is inevitable. No matter how you feel about it, AI is inevitable. And it's getting worse all the time.
You talking about being able to make your own videos and movies and stuff like that.
Terrifying.
That's my biggest fear with that new Vivo thing that came out.
Oh my God. So yeah,
brother, I was like, the shit that this is going to be used for. Maybe that's just a very pessimistic look at it. But when I see that and they're like, I can talk. And there were like a couple jitters, like a couple like strayed sort of movements, but otherwise, if I was passing by and I saw that at a glance, and I went,
it was a real thing.
And I keep walking, that shit's gonna be used for the most heinous, vile things you can think of.
So let me pause you right there, because I do need to let our audience know what's being talked about. This week, Google did some sort of like big AI conference. They were releasing all of their new they were showing off all their new products that they were releasing with their AI. And right now they're fucking winning the generative AI race, because VO, or whatever the fuck that thing is making some terrifying videos that look genuinely real. Like you cannot tell it is AI. The only way you could tell it's AI is because someone told it to you. Like, obviously the sound mixing needs a bit of work. So essentially what VO allows you to do, from my understanding, it's also super expensive to actually generate anything. I think you need to spend like $300 a month or something to get like 5 credits.
Shit.
Oh, it's
That's
something.
How they get you. That's how they get you.
It's something ridiculous. Well, you're gonna need that amount of power for that shit. But we are now at a point with this new AI generation where you can go into a prompt, type out a prompt. It'll generate a small like 10-second, 15-second video of that prompt. Not only will it generate the video, it will generate, if there's a person in that prompt saying something, it'll generate a voiceover. That voiceover doesn't sound AI whatsoever. It sounds like it's part of the fucking video. It will generate sound effects and sound design in that video. Yes. Now, the sound mixing is still, it's not the best sound mixing. It's very amateur. But the fact that it's doing it at all is fucking terrifying. And
it just needs another quadrillion terabytes of fucking sound audio before it's perfect, basically.
Dude, have you seen like the fucking like computer farms that is needed for all these AI tools? It is disgusting. It is terrible.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about AI?
Yeah.
Fuck Discord, brother.
Oh,
by the way,
yeah, we heard about that.
Banning it doesn't do anything.
I'm sure it doesn't.
You need to turn off slash commands so that way it can't scrape your fucking Discord.
So there was
a shit.
There was a post that was spreading around on Blue Sky and Twitter about this AI bot that's been going into Discord. Now, obviously, I want to preface by saying I don't know how authentic this post is. I do, we did ban some users out of precaution, obviously. But I personally am not someone who takes a post at face value, because I also remember chainmail, where you're like, send this to 10 people and just seeing it spread. And I try to avoid spreading unintentionally spreading misinformation where I can. But I did ban some of those. I mean, because all those usernames were like AI PETA AI, or whatever the fuck it was called. So yeah, we just banned him as a precaution.
Well, the big thing is that it didn't show up in the user list.
Yeah, there was a bit of a workaround. That was suspicious. Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that Discord allowed a bot to be in your personal Discord. It's in every Discord, by the way.
Yeah.
And it can just exist unknown. You don't even know it's there until you fucking ban it. That's wild.
So I will say what I've always said, and I think, Crown, you also know this saying. If a product is free, you are the product.
Correct.
Remember that.
I just can't wait until they sell Discord, and then it fucking
it'll be worse. It'll be way worse at that point.
One of my community members was like, I hope that when somebody buys out Discord, they keep it exactly how it is, and it's super friendly to the community and stuff. No. And they were like, just kidding, it's copium. Yeah. Because I know the moment Discord gets bought, guess what, man? It's crypto non-fucking stop. Yep. It becomes like everything you do is a crypto thing. It's NFTs. It's all that dog shit. Blah 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 blah.
How could I make this into money?
Correct.
That's what it is. If someone buys something, it's because they see money-making opportunities that the previous company is just not willing to do, because of their PR and how they have to save face. But there will be a bigger company that steps in and like, I don't fucking care if we put D&D in all our slot machines.
I hate you.
I'm here to make money, not friends. That's, that's what that.
Correct.
Yeah. So whenever something gets bought out, it is not with the intent to preserve. It's usually with the intent to milk it for all it's worth and then just toss it at the side of the road.
Correct.
So
all right, who wants to buy it? Who wants to buy my used sock?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then sell it to someone else for probably a lot cheaper because all the goodwill for whatever that cool thing was is just gone. Fuck, we're seeing that with Twitch right now. I personally think we're seeing the end of Twitch IMO.
That was something I was talking to my community about as well the other night. Was the kind of like final death knells of Twitch, and I was kind of lamenting, but not really, because like I've been building the YouTube.
Yes.
Like if I was starting now, I'd be super pissed. Like I'd be like, God damn it! But I've got like the YouTube partner thing fucking already set up in case Twitch fucking falls through. I've got the Patreon still going. So like, I'll be sad because I like Twitch.
Oh, same.
Right? Like I, aside from like the company bullshit, I like Twitch as a platform.
Yeah.
I think that they could have definitely handled themselves better.
I don't know if there was ever going to be a better way to go about it because I felt like, and the one thing I will say about, Big Daddy Twitch is that, it never has really turned a profit, but there are so many, from my understanding, but there are so many things that could have been done to really bring in some money. Look at Kick. Kick is profitable because they are stake. They are a gambling site. They promote gambling, and gambling makes a lot of money because it profits off of the suffering of someone's vices. So, I know there's a lot of big streamers who are like, yeah, I'll just go to Kick because, they're morally bankrupt. And I am just like, I will never go to Kick. In its current management, that is not a platform for me, and I will never go to Kick. That platform, besides leaning a particular way that I don't feel super comfortable with, the fact that it profits off of the off stake so much because it is the same company. And so blatant about it. I can't do that. And I don't want to put people in other positions. And yeah, before you start typing in fucking the comment section, Amazon isn't that good either and blah, blah, blah. I know I'm choosing the lesser of two evils. At least with this one, when Twitch pushes out something, I can be like, guys, don't do it, or lower there. But you know, when you are on a platform that is that just advertising gambling 24/7 all the time, I can scream from top of the mountains, hey, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And it's still like, yeah, it's the same. Like, I won't take a sponsor. I won't take an alcohol sponsorship. I won't take a cigarette nicotine sponsorship. I won't take personally, I won't even take a caffeine sponsorship. Like, I will not do an energy drink sponsorship. No.
Nos, hit me up.
Yeah. You know what? And anyone who does, I do not fault them. I don't think of them as lessers. These are just this is my belief system. This is just my personal belief. Do I drink caffeine like a motherfucker? I've got a fridge filled with Red Bull because I cannot get it throughout the day without 2 or 3 Red Bulls in my stomach, you know, which is about 180 grams of caffeine. But I will not advertise that to someone, you know, because I don't want to advertise. It's a drug. I don't want to advertise. I don't want to advertise.
Yeah.
Drugs. At the end of the day, it's a drug.
I think it's just some part of my brain be like, that'd be really cool to be sponsored, like to have like the fucking like I'm a NASCAR driver, like walk out in my fucking NOS coat, and then I immediately go, all right, kids, don't drink this.
Yeah, I mean,
the only reason I started drinking this was because I was in the military.
Yeah, and you like it, so you actually could say something about it. But also, like, there's an argument you can make where you're like, you're a fucking adult, you know, like if I'm gonna advertise a caffeinated beverage to you, I don't, you know, I'm not gonna belittle you to be like, you know, like you don't know any better. Like, if you do it, you do it. It's just, for me, it's like I don't want to add to that. That's just my thing. You know, I don't, you know, there's plenty of other people that'll do it. I don't want to add to it. There's no reason for me to add to it. So that's just, but again, that's my personal belief. But yeah, I could totally see someone being like, yeah, I'm gonna advertise this caffeinated beverage, and you're a grown up, and so you make the decision if you're gonna buy it or not, you know. And that's it. That's my
all right, fucking mature ass answer.
I know, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a fucking piece of shit, man. So yeah. Hey,
all right,
how about we do a little Am I the Asshole?
Very well.
I love these. I love doing these. I love talking with them. So what we do, chat, for those that don't know, we read the top posts of the Reddit Am I the Asshole? I pick out an asshole, a post that the Reddit believed that is ranked asshole. I also pick one that is not an asshole. So with that being said, I read both stories, and then Crowned has to choose what he believes Reddit said was the asshole and what wasn't the asshole, while also giving his personal opinion of who is and isn't the asshole. We do have some cheat codes we've worked on that honestly has worked out pretty well for us, which includes, hey, are they talking about children? Probably an asshole. Or was it, no, was it like, if it's something a child did, the action, the judge person is probably not an asshole because Reddit hates children.
Reddit hates kids, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So I got 2 stories for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. And then so we're not there. I'm also adding a new rule to the game, which I will tell you at the end. And
interesting.
It is not part of, and we won't do the rule for this week, just because that would be unfair to be like, oh, by the way, here's, you know, the rule is this, so failed, sorry. I'll tell you what the rule is at the end of this and how it's going to change this game, okay? And then
interesting. Okay.
You folks at home, feel free to comment or text or post along while I'm reading this, and you
call in to 1-800-555 to pick the best dancer.
I'd love to do call-ins one day. That would be a lot of fun. We should, like, if we get big enough, we'll have a phone number you guys could call in, and we'll get people waiting.
That'd be kind of fucking awesome, actually.
That'd be really fun, right? Yeah, so we'll do that one day. We'll do that one day, guys. All right. Here we go. Am I the asshole for taking my girlfriend's dad to court?
Ooh, okay, nice.
Yeah, this is a tricky one, right? You don't know where we're gonna go with this.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential with this one.
Yeah. Well, I also feel like from that title alone, it could go either way.
Absolutely, that's exactly what I went through. I was like, ooh, you could either be a super asshole or something actually justifiable happen.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. Made a whole account for the first time because my friend said this would make for a good story here. I, 19 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 18 female, for around a year. A couple weeks ago, I got pulled over while driving home from her place, and just my luck, the officer who pulled me over was her dad.
Okay.
Although very awkward, he kept it purely professional, and I said I was speeding and gave me a ticket. Now, if I was speeding, this would have been perfectly fine. But the problem is, I wasn't. I have a dash cam that logs GPS and speed data. And I checked as soon as I got home, and it clearly shows I was going under the speed limit the entire time. What do you got, Crowdy? You look like you had something to say there for a second.
Show me the data.
Yeah, give me the dates.
Come on, man. Blur out your GPS location and show me how fast you were going.
Come on.
If you say you can do it, I want to see it.
I told my girlfriend I'm planning to fight the ticket in court. She's really upset and says it's going to cause a lot of tension with her family. She thinks I should just pay the fine and move on, even if I wasn't speeding. From my point of view, this isn't about her dad personally. It's purely about not wanting any marks against my license. She feels that by taking it to court, I'm basically accusing her dad of either lying or making a serious mistake, and that could put him in a real difficult position professionally and personally. She's worried this is going to cause a rift, not just between me and her dad, but possibly between her dad and her as well for being associated with me. I get where she's coming from, and I don't want to disrespect her dad or damage the relationship I've built with him. Honestly, we've always gotten along well. He's a tough guy, but I respect him a lot, and I know he's just doing his job. I've never had a ticket before, and I pay for my own car and insurance, so something like this could raise my rates and stick with me, especially being so young. I'm not trying to be difficult, dramatic, or disrespectful, but I just don't think it's right to let something slide that could impact me long term, especially when I have clear evidence that I wasn't speeding. I'm still planning on fighting the ticket. I have the dash cam footage. I know I wasn't speeding, but my girlfriend is incredibly upset. She's been distant ever since I told her, and lately she's barely talking to me. I can tell she's really hurt and stressed about the whole thing. She keeps saying I'm choosing a stupid traffic ticket over her and her family, which is technically true, but that ticket comes with a lot more than just a one-time fine. I don't want to take the blame for something I didn't do, so I've already pled not guilty and have the court hearing scheduled for a few weeks out. I think this is the right move, but putting my future first. Am I the asshole?
Fuck, that's really tough.
Yeah.
Damn. That, I think that's probably the hardest one you've picked so far.
Yeah.
Because usually within the first paragraph, I already know. But this, on one half, I totally get it. Not wanting this to affect you in such a personal way where it's going to affect your rates going forward. It's going to be something that when you're looked up, you're going to have that on your record. However, I also know that usually 9 times out of 10, when you fight these things in court, the judge sides with you because the cop doesn't show up.
Right.
They only really show up for actual cases. If you are in there to dispute your speeding ticket, it's going to be all right, and where's the prosecution? They look over. Not here? Okay. You're free to go.
Yep.
So
yeah, I'm pretty sure you still have to pay
a
court fee though, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're not getting that for free. You're fucking kidding me. Not in this country. Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb.
Okay.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say not the asshole.
Okay.
Mostly because of how intent they were on defending themselves.
Right.
And like having like, I have proof. I don't want this to affect blah, 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 blah. Like, yes, a relationship's important, but obviously, your girlfriend might not be emotionally mature enough yet to like fully understand the scope of it beyond her family. She's only thinking about herself. She's not thinking about you. So I'm going to say not the asshole.
Okay. All right. Now you can always change this one. So I read you the second story.
Oh, this is going to be great.
So
I killed 14 puppies.
I drowned 10 puppies. They were just being so loud.
I couldn't sleep.
Am I the asshole? All right. Am I the asshole for giving my daughter $60 a week, but my son nothing?
This is okay. All right. I'm listening. Interesting.
Go on.
Nice. Do tell.
I, 45 female, have 2 kids, 17 female and 15 male. We moved earlier this year to be closer to my parents, as my parents' health is declining. My daughter was excited about the move, but my son has struggled to adjust.
17. You said 17 female, 15 male?
Correct.
Okay, so the son's younger.
Correct.
Okay, go on.
Okay. All right, I like it. We're at a, you're not. It's not as black and white anymore, is it?
Interesting. I'm listening. Listening.
Due to the move, my job shifted to hybrid and I needed a work from home setup. My bedroom is too small and the only options were the lounge or one of the kids' rooms during school hours. I proposed this to them. My son flat out refused. No way in hell, is apparently what he said. But my daughter offered her room and half joked about charging me rent for the space. I thought it was fair. As I get $20 a day work from home allowance, I agreed to give it to her if she was okay with me setting up a small office in her room. I work from 8:30 to 5, and she usually starts homework right after I finish, so it works out well.
Fuck.
What
you picked some tough ones. You picked some fucking tough ones. You picked some fucking tough ones. Man, why didn't you pick easy ones? Why wasn't it I kicked the dog because it was barking too loud?
I kicked the dog.
I kicked the shit out of the dog. Why did you pick that one, man?
How else are they going to learn to shut up if I don't kick the dog?
Fuck. Continue.
Okay. All right, here we go. Now the issue. My son is pissed that his sister's getting $60. I don't do regular allowances, just canteen money, about $10 a week, and other needs as they come up. I told him he had the same opportunity and was now shit out of luck. He got angry and brought up the move, saying he never gets to see his friends. And then his parentheses says, for the record, I drive them back to visit every 2 weeks for visits. I told him I understood his feelings, but said I wouldn't tolerate being spoken to like shit. He then started an argument with his sister too, going in for her for being an opportunistic bitch, and she called him a whiny little asshole.
Whoa, damn, brother, you need to calm the fuck down. It's just $60, dude. You're 15.
To cool off,
you have no bills.
Here we go. To cool off, I offered one of them the option to stay at their grandparents for the night, not as a punishment, but to break the tension. My son opted to go, and while dropping him off, my mom told me I was favoring my daughter and should be paying them equally. My dad disagreed, saying my son had the chance and was shit out of luck. Am I the asshole?
Ooh, okay. So initially, I was worried that there was going to be something underlined there. But when they explained, "Hey, I'm taking up one of my kids' rooms. I'm basically invading their privacy every day for work. Even if that's not your intent, you are entering your child's basically safe space."
Yeah.
They like, my mother used to do the fucking spring cleaning thing where I'd come back home and my room was a mess because she decided I'm just going to go through everything was his. So like you're basically doing that in a way by being in there, by setting up that. So offering not even your choice, by the way. Your kid was like, oh, maybe give me some money for it. Like, haha, wouldn't that be funny? And you do.
Yeah.
As a 17-year-old, being able to start taking, like, having money that you can put towards, small things, like maybe gas or, small purchases that you need to make for yourself.
Right.
Maybe you have a job or whatever. That is kind of awesome.
I also thought that was a good life lesson where you're like, give me some money, LOL, and
your parents like, okay,
that's a good life lesson. I'm
going to use it from these hours to these hours. I've established a boundary. Fuck, man. Oh no.
Yeah, it's hard. No. This is hard.
Damn.
If I didn't already know the answers, this would be tricky. Crown is struggling, guys. He is struggling right now.
I think, damn, you picked both? One is an asshole out of these?
One of them is an asshole. One of them is not an asshole.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think either one's an asshole.
But one of them is. According to the Reddit.
Damn.
Because I agree with you. I don't think either of these guys are assholes.
Okay, if I'm going for the Reddit angle, then because
you're gonna have to metagame a little bit on this one. I feel like
I'm gonna have to Okay, so if I'm going from the Reddit angle, because I don't believe either of these people are assholes. I think the girlfriend's being emotionally immature and is not looking at it from their partner's perspective, how it will affect them long term, and they're thinking more insular and personal. And I think the parent paying their kid to effectively take over their room to basically break that barrier of privacy. Also, not an asshole. So, like, if I'm going to go at this at a meta angle, I believe that people are going to say that she's an asshole.
Who's she?
The parent.
Okay. So are you locking this in? That
I hate this. I hate this moment.
You gotta lock it in.
See your final answer.
Is this your final answer?
Yeah, it's my final answer.
So the cop story is not the asshole, and the mom is the asshole.
Yes. Yeah, I personally think neither of them are assholes.
Right. Crowns, you're correct. That is what Reddit shows.
Reddit, you dumbasses.
Correct. Mom's apparently the asshole according to Reddit, which
that makes no fucking sense.
Disagree 100%. I think maybe capitalism, but I think the daughter offered it up, part. Said he was like, hey, I know we're in a bad spot. Offered up part of the room. I think what's happening is Reddit is looking at this as mom punishing the son, not mom rewarding the daughter. I think that's how Reddit's taking it.
That's such a bad way to look at it. Like, it wasn't even her idea.
I think Reddit's taking the victim, the I'm being victimized approach.
The son's a cunt.
Yeah. Agreed. I think
he's also 15.
I think he's being a little shit, but also I don't think mom is trying to punish him.
Not at all.
I think all mom's doing is saying, you know what? That's fair, because I am asking something pretty big of you. All right, let's do a rental agreement. That's a life lesson. That is, and it is. It's just saying, hey, I'm renting the space out. This is what an exchange in life. And I think I haven't looked at the top comment, and we will read the top comment. I think Reddit is probably saying is looking at the story as the son is being victimized. The son is being bullied. And I don't think that's the case at all.
That's a fucking stupid ass way.
I agree.
There have been times, once again, I'm going to ramble about the military.
Yeah, go for it.
Where, like, for example, an RTC. RTC is your recruit training command. You have like 3 like instructors that are there. They vary in rank, what have you. Different like specialties. And I've personally seen the whole like, okay, I need 3 volunteers, and it's dead quiet. And then he goes, all right, I'm just gonna start picking people, and they pick people. And then I've also seen it where it's like, I need 3 volunteers, and then one person steps up and goes, I'll do it, petty officer. And it's like, awesome. Who else? And then somebody else will be like, you know what, petty officer, I'll also do it. They're like expecting the worst.
Yeah.
And they go, awesome. I need you guys to just chill, like to just vibe and just watch out. The rest of you on your fucking faces. Like it's it's kind of falling on your own sword.
Yeah.
Or like if you're willing to take that bump, like to take that risk, you might get like shit on,
right.
Maybe, but you also might get rewarded for it. And that kid, I guess, really valued their privacy. I mean, I remember being a 15-year-old fucking kid. I remember being a 50-year-old man being like, no, you're not allowed in my room. Don't look at my computer.
Yeah, but also at the same time, like, I could understand being disappointed and grumpy, but also at the same time, like, I don't want you in my room. No. So, yeah, she's getting paid. For me, it's like, whatever. I'm a little annoyed, and I do need money, but I think my solution would be ask how to get money, not, it's fucking bullshit, man. Yeah, so it's...
I think the kid also blowing up is I don't know.
Classic.
I'm really surprised with Reddit fucking saying that. I don't think either of them are assholes.
No,
I think the kid blowing up and being like, you took me away from my friends, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I take them to see their friends every other week. Like,
yeah. I also feel like, I think my only takeaway as to why I think it could be the asshole is how she's like, I told him he was a little shit. And I'm like, yeah, maybe not. Don't be aggressive with your children, but like at the same time, he's being a little shit, I
mean, so there are some times where you need to kind of tell somebody, hey man, you're being a fucking asshole. Like, you know that, right? Like even to your own, there are different ways to kind of approach your own child.
I mean, I think for me, it's more because you are so emotionally mature. I feel like that's just going to make it worse. But I've never been a parent, so maybe not, But I think if someone's already kind of showing like shitty behavior,
if they're already emotionally charged, you can't come in and be like shithead.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't go to that level. You can't.
They go, what?
You can't go to their level, is what I'm saying.
Correct.
If they're calling you a little shit, you can be like, well, you're a fucking little shit. Like, you can't do that. That's not, you have to be the parent, that.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's fair. I'll give you that one.
That's what I'm saying. So, questionable parenting aside on that end, I don't think it was enough to blow the whole thing over and being like, you should pay them evenly. No, why? What?
No, there's definitely no reason to pay them even. You would be rewarding like.
Also, you want money? Get a fucking job. You're old enough now to get an 8-hour a week job.
Go to the meat packing factory. That's where all the kids are going today. Get over there.
Maybe labor laws have changed, but when you're 15 is like the earliest you can get a job. You are under a lot of strict laws. Like you can only work a certain amount of time without a break.
You can only work part-time and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and I mean it's like really, but I mean it's enough for get a little extra money and start doing that. So yeah, you want money? Fucking work for it, and that's. Dude, there's so many times like I wish I had my mind. I'm saying this like this is a fucking revelation. I wish I had the mindset for money. My mindset for money when I was a child that I do now. God, I would be fucking so better off.
Have you seen the cat video where it's like, I wish I would have invested while I was in my inside my mom's room or whatever. Yeah, like that's basically how it feels nowadays. Where like you're like, God, I wish I was able to invest when I was a literal child instead of my childhood.
Dude, I'm not even talking about investing. I'm talking about especially owning the businesses that I own. I feel confident enough that I know how to make money. That if I, were to build a new business, I could make money off that business because I feel like I've got the life skills, the know-how, just all the shit to be like, this is how you can make money. And like, I wish I had that confidence, that know-how as a kid, and been like, I don't know, doing some sort of hustle. I would have hustled. I would have loved to hustle as a kid.
Brother, I'm gonna be honest. I think your life would be poorer for it.
Okay.
I think if you had that opportunity to like grind as early as you could, I think you would be miserable. I don't think you'd have met Bizet. I think you'd have met some other like toxic person, and your life would be poorer for it.
I think I'm looking. I think what I guess it's less more about the grind, but more about when I did get to a point where I had to make money to survive. I never chose a job because, that's the job I wanted. I chose a job because that's the job that paid the bills. You know what I mean? And that's something that I feel a lot of people are trapped in, where you have to do this job because you need to pay bills. And this is the job that's going to pay those bills. And if you take a job that's a lesser pay, or any other job you've built a reputation in, you're being irresponsible. Seems to be the general sentiment. And I feel like that's a fucking trap for people to be like, I think that's part of the, tinfoil hat time. And I feel like that's part of the structure, is that you're obedient because you're obedient because you can't afford not to be.
And
damn. that is my thought. So I guess what I'm saying is I would have liked the independence that I have now.
That's fair. I can understand that.
I want the independence because I've said this before so many times, and many times on this podcast. I would never want to work a 9 to 5 again. I would never want to be under someone's power again. Never again. Because now that I'm out and I've seen all of that, I go, holy shit, it's all a trap. It's all a fucking trap. Just the whole, performance review. Are you the asshole? And you're like, no, sir. You're like, all right, enjoy your 3% raise.
And they pat you on the head. Yeah. I've thought about that as well, where I'm like, what happens if like everything just falls through? Like, where do I go? And I was like, do I go back to a 9 to 5? And I'm like, I think I'll actually fucking die if I have, like, unironically, there are days where like I just can't walk.
Yes.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, if I have to go back to a 9 to 5 and I can't walk like for like a fucking week, which has happened, where I've had to have my roommates come and help me for like a week fucking straight. We're like getting to the bathroom, which is right next to me. Like this wall leads to the bathroom. If I couldn't, like, it was like a fucking 10-minute struggle to like crawl my way to the bathroom. And I'm thinking about like, if I have a 9 to 5 where I have to like stand on my feet for like 8-9 hours.
Yeah.
Like moving boxes and shit like that. I'm like, I think I'll actually die.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like, and even with an office job, like you exactly what you're saying.
I don't have qualifications for an office job, dude. Like,
you don't need, there are office jobs out there that you don't need qualifications for.
Sure, man. But like getting paid $7.50 an hour, I won't be able to afford rent either. Like,
well, unfortunately, what I'm talking about is working at a call center, which I know. But they usually pay okay. Like, I've never seen a minimum wage call center before. So no,
but that call center stuff was all stuff you do at home.
That could be something that you could do at home. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Everyone seems to be, and okay. So this is also where my tinfoil hat, I feel, shows merit. The fact that companies are now super fucking insistent that you be in the office.
Oh, that's, it's because they pay outrageous rent on buildings.
Yeah.
And it's also so they can, explain why managers exist.
Exactly.
Because if you're working from home, a manager is literally fucking pointless.
Yeah.
All those like,
especially if you have like the same
middle management guys.
If you're getting the same like output.
Yeah. The middle management guys, if I'm working from home and I can do all my own work, I don't need the fucking dork and his little press tie and all that shit to come over and be like, actually, your Excel spreadsheet was
power tripping.
2.543% off, and you were wrong by this metric and this number. It's like, fuck you. The guy who also works from home told me that already. So you literally are pointless. I have no reason to listen to you. And they're like, what do I do now? You go.
What's
you fucking go do your job, asshole.
Jesus fucking God! Holy shit! Yeah, I mean, it's just like just to keep you in control, man. Just to have they're like, we need control. It's the only way that you're gonna do what we want you to do. And if you feel like you've got freedom, then you're maybe gonna wise up one day and be like, why am I fucking doing this? I mean, that's pretty much what I did.
It's so crazy to me because I've seen like actual good middle management.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I was just very fortunate. Like all of my HM1s and stuff like that, they worked with us. Like my HM1 that was like when I worked at the clinic, my HM1 would come out and be like, all right, who needs a patient? Like who needs like a moment? I'll take your patient for it.
Yeah, of course.
And they'll come in, they'll knock that shit out. They'll like do patients back to back to back, and they'll help out doctors and nurses and stuff. And then they go back and they'll fill out whatever fucking paperwork they need to fill out. And they're like, all right, who needs a break? Like I've seen actual good like management.
Yeah.
And then I've also seen managers who sit in the office,
egotistical managers,
playing on their phone for like 4 hours, and they come out and they're like, why are you leaning? Get to sweeping. It's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? I will wring. I am stronger than you. I will wring your neck before you even get an opportunity to call corporate. You understand that?
If any job, like let's say a grocery store, right? In any department, if everyone decided at that moment in that department, I'm not going to work anymore. I'm going home. Good luck. And leave. They'd be like, wait, you can't fucking do that. Yeah.
Wait.
I'm telling you to come back. That's the thing is like, it's control. It sounds hippy dippy. It is a way to it is. It's a way to maintain control.
Absolutely.
With the illusion of control.
So it's, I think one of my favorite posts is forced to work at a job for food tokens.
Yes.
In a society where I could kill the guy with my bare fucking hands who tells me I need to work for food tokens. Like, I need food tokens to live, but I could kill the dude who tells me I need food tokens. Like, it's a fucked up world we live in.
Dude.
It's all funny money. It's all like...
Dude, society is just a big fucking illusion, dude. It's the thing we all follow, so someone doesn't fucking kill me for the food that I gathered. That's all it is. That's all it is.
The dude power tripping who's like 4'11", who's like built like a twig, and I'm like, I could break you over my knee.
Holy
shit. If you talk to me wrong, you are so lucky I need food tokens to live, because if you power trip on me anymore, I will consider just going to prison. You understand that?
It's just so, that's all it is, man. It is just, we all gotta keep following the society thing so that everyone isn't fucking murdering each other for their food tokens. That's all it is. That's all any of this is.
Yes. It's a really fucked up like system to kind of look at everything. Where you're like, if we just were animals, this would be
different.
It falls apart. It falls apart so quickly.
You and I would be dead. I'm so
100%. Dude,
we would not be doing this right now.
I talk about hypotheticals with my friend all the time.
Yeah.
One of them is the apocalypse.
Yeah.
The end of the world. Society as we know collapses. And I was like, I want you to understand, I provide nothing to you. I am a black hole of resources. You bring me along on the apocalypse, and what happens is I'm your wisdom. I'm the guy who sits at camp who tells you how the world used to be and how I pontificate on how the world might be in the future.
And everyone
I'm the first dude who dies.
Yeah.
That's if I survive the apocalypse, like the first 8 hours of the apocalypse.
I don't know.
Because these break,
I'm
gone. My cane breaks, I'm dead. You're gonna haul me around. You're gonna haul fucking like 260 pounds everywhere you go, and I'm just a resource vat. Like, you fucking feed me so I tell you funny stories.
Well,
dude, you're gonna kill me after a week. I don't survive.
You're gonna lose a lot of weight during the apocalypse, so don't you worry about that, man. Second of all,
I don't think I would. I think my friends would try and feed me. They're gonna give me like the biggest portion of bread. They're gonna give me the canned dog food and
honestly,
shit like that.
I think you would be the survivor because you have storage, man. You got a fridge of food in your body right there. Your body's like, I'll just keep eating this. It's fine. We've been saving up for this winter for a while, man. We'll be good. We'll be good.
The Raiders are gonna show up and they're gonna be like, the Raiders are gonna be like, give us everything you have, and I'd be like, my son, what do I have but the clothes on my back, but the sun over my skin, and it's a fucking fist to the side of my face. As they take my shoes, and I'm like, wait! We're not animals, and they're like, we are animals.
No, we're animals. I've seen some horrific shit.
I've done some shit. And I go, wait, son, wait.
Wait, you don't understand.
He raises his pipe weapon that he made by hand, and I go, your craftsmanship's immaculate, and then he fucking like.
So thank you for the illusion of society so that I can sit here and just yammer all day about turd signals.
Thank you.
And then sleep in my comfortable bed with my loving partner afterwards. After I eat a big old pizza. You know? Yeah, thank you very much for that, man. That's good shit.
Decadence.
So, to go back to where I did tell you for this game, we have an extra rule.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Yes. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. We got into Mom apparently being the asshole, and as we just proved, she is not. So this we're gonna give you let's say winning with honors. Okay.
Interesting.
If you guess this, okay. So there is a subcategory of not the asshole. And it's a subcategory that is not applied all the time, which means you would have to literally, this is a double or nothing deal. So if you make this call of this subcategory, you win with honors. But if you make the call and it isn't that subcategory, you lose it all, even if you got the asshole or not the asshole thing.
Oh my God.
Okay. The subcategory is no assholes here, which means not only are you not the asshole, but everyone in this story is not the asshole.
Really?
Yes. And I think
is this you claiming it and then people refuting that?
Yeah, well, yeah. So these are categories ranked here. There's categories ranked where pretty much the general consensus would be, because usually with the not the asshole, like asshole, not the asshole, there's normally an asshole somewhere in the story. It's just not you, you know. All this is just saying is like, there are no assholes in this story.
Interesting.
Even the argument's like, yeah, like I get why she feels that way. I get why the dad did what he did. And I understand why you're doing it too. This is just a very unfortunate set of circumstances that everyone has found themselves into. And because of that, no one's the asshole here. But you see where like some stories, you're like, oh, there's a clear asshole, you know, but there's other stories where you struggle a little bit because you're like, you're looking for who the asshole is. And that's what's helping you determine if you're not the asshole is there an asshole in this story? Who's the asshole in this story? Like in the last story, you know, we were like, brother's the asshole, even though they said something, they're saying mom's the asshole here. So yeah, But in this story in particular, Reddit believes that no one is the asshole in this story.
Okay, so what am I gambling against? Am I agreeing with Reddit or am I
You're agreeing with Reddit? You're agreeing with Reddit.
Interesting. Okay, but if I'm like somebody's an asshole.
Yeah. You just say not the asshole. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you say not the asshole, you can go, and I'll go a step further. I don't think anyone's the asshole here. And if Reddit agrees with you, then you win with honors. You are the mega winner of the Am I the Asshole weekly game.
All right.
You get big bragging rights for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
But if you say I don't think anyone's the asshole here, and Reddit just says not the asshole, then you lose it all. Because you're essentially doubling down. Sound good with you?
I'm ready.
So yeah, that's the rule. That's the rule. So we have a no, but also if the post says no assholes here, and you said not the asshole, you still win the game. You just don't get the extra bragging right afterwards. You know, you just win is the way that you could look at it that way. So yeah. Absolutely. I do want to read these top comments. Someone said the top comment here from send me your D pics. Nice, Reddit. Keep it up. Their comment, the top comment says, nah, but your girlfriend's being unfair as hell. You don't go looking for a fight. Her dad wrote a bogus ticket while in uniform, and you've got proof it's bullshit. That's not choosing a ticket over his family. That's not letting someone screw up your insurance record and money for no reason. If her dad's a decent cop, he'll accept that you're just doing the right to defend yourself. If he isn't, then yeah, maybe that rift was coming either way. You're not disrespecting anyone by standing up for yourself, especially when you've got the receipts. Tell her you're not putting your life on pause just to avoid her dad's feelings. If that's too much for her, then say way more. That says way more about the relationship's headed than a damn traffic court ticket. This also shows that Reddit hates women. That out of everyone in this story, this person to say, nah, but your girlfriend, fuck her. Dad's being cool as hell. Like, you could tell dad's a cool guy. But the girlfriend, nah, man. No, thank you. I don't think so. You know. I
won't say it's the girlfriend's fault, but I will say the girlfriend's not being emotionally mature.
She's yeah, that's fair. I can see that as well. And I think it's also fair that she feels that way, but she's taking it.
It's her family, right?
Yeah. And I think that's where none of the assholes here. I think people are taking her as being quote unquote the asshole because of her emotional maturity. When at the end of the day, she's not being unfair. You know, like this is a struggle for her, and that response makes total sense. That she's like, I just really wish you would just buy the ticket so we don't have to deal with it, you know, which isn't a fair thing to ask. But the way she's feeling about it is fair. And the fact that she kind of is like stepping back a little bit because her family, quote unquote, is under attack because she feels that way is also fair. That's a tough position to be in. It almost feels like you're picking a side at that point. And
absolutely. And
she doesn't know what to do, you know, so that I understand where she's coming from. I think she's approaching it with an emotional immaturity, like you said. But I don't think that makes her a bad guy because of it.
No.
Personally. Now, I gotta read the top comment about...
this is gonna...
Fucking
Christ.
This is a top 1% commenter. Someone came in swinging with this and has apparently the receipts to back up why their comments are so fucking good. So... let's see what Reddit says and how we're probably going to disagree with it. I can understand your logic, but I also don't agree with giving one child such a huge amount of money and the other nothing. And I think you're missing the bigger picture for your son, where he feels like his needs are not being considered as important within the family. If you are renting or own the whole house, then renting back space from a child is renting something you already paid for. As an adult, it wouldn't be unreasonable to expect a larger room, especially if you need to work from home. If your daughter has a larger room than you are already giving her benefits that most parents probably wouldn't. So I don't think you need to pass on the whole working from home allowance to use the limited space that is available. However, I get your point that it would be nice to reward her kindness and giving up some of her privacy by letting you use her space. I think the problem is that you are giving her quite a lot of money to your daughter. I bet hardly any 17-year-olds in a similar financial position get given a $250 a month allowance. I suspect that $10 a week would have been more than enough to have her feel grateful. You could have had come up with something that benefited your whole family, covering travel back to see your son's friends, for example, if he's old enough to do the journey on public transport, or having a special meals month. If you want to reward your daughter for increasing independence with an allowance, that would be fine too, with the expectation that your son would also get that at the same age. I guess the only part of me that erred towards you're the asshole is that you have been so dismissive of your son's needs, and the phrase shit out of luck feels so rejecting, and to encapsulate how he must feel to be uprooted from his peer group and watching his sister being financially indulged whilst he is just getting criticism. You say you won't tolerate being spoken to like shit. Just having just spoken to him that way, it seems like do as I say, not as I do. To read a post with such polarized opinions about your daughter as the wonderful child and your son as the troublesome one makes me wonder whether you're projecting a negative opinion about men, boys, or his father, or have struggled with other elements of your relationship with your son, or whether you actually feel guilty about moving him and have persuaded yourself it is the right thing so strongly that to really acknowledge his feelings would be difficult. I've got so many feelings about this post. All right,
Mr. Armchair Psychologist.
So there's that. There's the kind of like sexism of like, you probably just hate men, that I think is also really stupid. But call me the asshole, call me the old guy. But your child, yes, deserves a level of respect, but also you're a child, you know? You're not going to get some sort of special treatment because you're having a bad day. I'm sorry that you got uprooted from your friends, from something that there was no choice to do, okay? Like, I'm sorry that he's feeling bad about it, but to anyone that needs to hear this and is shaking their head at me right now, motherfucker, that's life. And the sooner you accept that, the better you're gonna be once you're an adult. If you are grown up getting everything you fucking want and then find out life's not that way when you're an adult, you're gonna be a pretty maladjusted adult, I feel like.
Yeah.
But like, to go out and be like, well, you're not considering his needs. It's like, what would you like? There doesn't need to be a consideration. Like, we can talk about this like adults, you know, we can have a conversation about that. I feel like that is the extent of consideration you need to give. I don't think you need to be like, oh, sweetie, it's okay, I'll drive you however far it is to see your friends because I know you're feeling bad right now. Unfortunately, that we don't always get what we want. And maybe I'm a hard ass for saying that, but I feel like that's life. That you just have to acknowledge that's life.
I feel like that's a very real kind of like situation to be in.
I'm not saying it doesn't suck, but you don't get special.
Sucks.
You don't get special treatment because something sucks. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes shit sucks and there's just nothing you can do about it, and you got to find a way to get over that or be miserable because of things that are out of your control.
Like, I don't know, coming at it like you're not considering your son's feelings. It's like, but they are.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, my parents never once offered to take me to go see my friends, whom I grew up with, after we moved. I lived in a military household. Like, we moved all the fucking time. I'd make friends and lose them super fast. I would have loved to have had my parent be like, yeah, I'll take you out every other week or some shit like that to go see your friends. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, you're not there every day, but dude, the fucking internet's a thing. You have phones probably. You probably have the ability to communicate with your friends whenever the fuck you want.
The level of technology to stay in touch is so accessible now more than ever. And I didn't even consider that. And I'm like, oh, well, fucking get over it. You know, like, and if you're, and hey, you know what? When you're 15, guess what happens next year? You're 16. And guess what you get to do? You, if assuming this is in the States, you get to drive a car, which means go buy a car, go get a job, go get some money so that you can buy a used car, a junker, and then go drive to see your friends if it's really that fucking important.
I mean, I can. But that's maybe it has changed. I don't know. Maybe it has changed. I haven't been a kid for fucking 12 years now. Yeah. It was 18 was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So I could tell you right now, if I had been smarter, like if I had saved my money instead of spending it on frivolous shit when I had a job,
of course,
there was my friends' parents would have sold me their junkers for dirt fucking cheap.
Oh yeah.
Dirt cheap. They'd have, not only that, there are people in my neighborhood who'd have sold me their junkers for dirt fucking cheap.
Yeah.
Not only that, they'd have helped me. They'd have helped me fucking learn how to fix it and learn how to like mend it and all that stuff. Like, maybe that's not the case anymore. Maybe that's not a thing that exists anymore. But like, knowing your neighborhood was a big thing when I was growing up.